This video is called The Sinking Ship of Fools. Introduction. The setting and the fear. In the late 1950s, a young journalist named Paul Kemp arrived in Puerto Rico, fleeing the stifling air of the American mainland. He didn't just leave for a job. He left because of what he called the fear. As Kemp imagined telling a reporter, St. Louis gives young men the fear. Not a bad headline, eh? Hunter S. Thompson's The Rum Diary, though published decades later, is a novel that captures this specific moment in time. A post-war boom where the island was filled with expatriates and drifters. Kemp finds himself in a place defined by the pressure of hot air and passing time. An idle tension where men sweat 24 hours a day. This is the story of a sinking ship of a newspaper and the desperate souls clinging to its deck. The characters. Rebels and seekers. At the center of this chaos is Paul Kemp, a young freelance journalist grappling with disillusionment. He describes himself as a seeker and a stupid hellraiser torn between restless idealism and a sense of impending doom. Kemp is soon joined by Yeeman, a rebel from Kentucky who embodies the era's raw, violent energy. Yeeman is a man of excess, living a lifestyle that eventually drags Kemp into deeper trouble. Then there is Chino, Yeeman's girlfriend, a captivating yet elusive woman who becomes the focal point of a sordid love triangle. Rounding out the group is Sala, a fellow journalist who provides a bit of comic relief amidst the mounting madness, and Al, the no-nonsense owner of the local diner where the group's senseless odyssey often unfolds. Together, they represent a cohort of people defined by their failures and their refusal to confront them. Key events: paradise and peril. Life for these exiles is a cycle of rum, long afternoons, and vibrant parties. But the allure of paradise is a thin veil for the danger beneath. The narrative reaches a fever pitch during a wild holiday in St. Thomas, where a carnival atmosphere blurs the line between exhilaration and peril. It is here that Chino vanishes into a hostile after-party, leaving Kemp and Yeeman beaten and desperate. Back in San Juan, corruption is rampant, and the journalists find themselves in violent clashes with local authorities. Kemp, Yeeman, and Sala are arrested and thrown into a filthy, threatening prison after a dispute at a bar. The story culminates in a brutal, deadly attack on the paper's owner, Lauderman, signaling the final collapse of their social world. Themes: the lonely sound of time. Beneath the hedonism, the Rum Diary is obsessed with the passing of time and the encroachment of despair. Kemp is haunted by the feeling that he is all actors kidding ourselves on a senseless odyssey. He listens to the sounds of the San Juan night, the sounds of people giving up, and the sound of hanging on. Behind it all, he hears the quiet, deadly ticking of 1,000 hungry clocks, a line that makes me think of S. Scott Fitzgerald more than any other line in the book. The characters are seekers who have taken an honest road in their eyes, but find no reward at the end. As Yemen bitterly realizes, we're just drunkards, helpless drunkards. They are exiles not just from their country, but from their own dreams. Conclusion. Foucault's Ship of Fools. To understand the plight of these exiles in Puerto Rico, we can look to Michel Foucault's concept of the Ship of Fools. Foucault describes a historical and literary phenomenon where towns dealt with the mad by expelling them, placing them on ships to traverse the rivers of Europe. These madmen were both excluded and enclosed, caught in a ritual exile that made them dangerous and ambiguous figures. Kemp and his companions are 20th century iteration of this legend. Just as the madmen of the Rhine were expelled to the margins of society, these American exiles have been pushed to the edge of the Caribbean, trapped on a sinking ship of a newspaper. In Foucault's analysis, the madmen possessed a forbidden knowledge regarding the end of the world. Similarly, Kemp lives with a dark suspicion that his life is a lost cause, a senseless odyssey toward an inevitable doom. By the end of the novel, Kemp flees on a morning plane, safe for now, but leaving behind the lonely sound of time passing. Like the legendary Naran Sheaf, these exiles are perpetually drifting. They are the seekers who found that the truth of their knowledge was its own kind of absurdity, forever traversing the waters between a home they can't return to and a paradise that refused to hold them.